kind of 70s and 80s Hong Kong films, like Jackie Chan films and stuff, they are like musicals, like the fight scenes are like dance numbers. And I guess because the first fight in the book was this Bollywood number, and I remember people saying to me, people who read the book said, "You're not going to do the Bollywood bit though, are you?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." Go all out. So I think it really helps that first fight by having him sing, because it kind of creates a reality where, you know, that people don't really react. Like nobody in the room really reacts to the fight. And you know, that's very similar in musicals. You know, in Grease, like at the end of Summer Loving, the other people in Ride Out High go, "What the fuck was that?" Nobody else comments on the fact that they just busted out this big dance number. So I kind of thought that was a good way to get into the fights. And then from that point on, nobody really, people are kind of like, by the fourth fight, people like Wallace and Kim are like over the fights. They're just bored of it by that point. So it was just the thing of like trying to create that reality where these fights are going to break out, and Scott Pilgrim was going to get less and, you know, be less excited about each one coming, like starting to think that, you know, jumping through hoops isn't maybe all that much fun, you know.
Yeah. We've all been there, I'm sure. So I also want to ask, like, what were some of your huge like influences going into this, like the movies you were looking at, like this is kind of where I want the basis, and video games, all that stuff.
Well, a lot of it was in the books. I mean, the artwork in the books alone was fantastic, and Brian was drawing on a lot of manga and video games, so that was all there. And I guess we just sort of looked at things like for sort of structure. You know, I'm trying to think. You know, films that I would show the cast would be films like Beyond the Valley of the Dolls and Phantom of the Paradise.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen either of those, you must check them out. And in fact, kind of like Schwartzman is kind of playing in both Beyond the Valley of the Dolls and Phantom of the Paradise, way, way, way before he got you know, done for murder. In both films, they have a villainous Phil Spector. In both of those movies, for real. Even like Beyond the Valley of the Dolls opens with the Phil Spector character putting a gun in a woman's mouth and blowing her head off. It was spooky, I kid you not, in 1970.
Roger Ebert's a crazy guy.
Roger Ebert wrote that movie. So, you know, Schwartzman like knew that both of those films, and so even as Brian was still kind of developing the character, we kind of thought of Gideon being like evil Phil Spector.
So there's, I mean, in the movie,